So go ahead and turn to page 109 in your grammar books. 109. Okay, 109. We're talking about possessive adjectives today. So you already know adjectives modify a noun. So basically they're going to give a little bit more information about a noun. Usually we ask the questions like which one or how many or what kind, those questions you can ask about a noun to find the adjective. Today it's same questions, but we're going to notice that the adjective also can be a noun with an apostrophe. So it'll make sense as we go through this, but basically it describes a noun or pronoun and it tells which one, what kind, how many, or whose. The noun is followed by an apostrophe S, and it functions as a possessive adjective and shows ownership. And so here's a great example. Robin marveled at the stranger's skill. So obviously the noun is skill. It's the thing that is the stranger, as what he is. It says my internet is unstable, but if you can't hear me or something, just like flag me down, okay? I'll pause. I don't know what's going on with my internet. The noun stranger is followed by an apostrophe S. That means it's possessive. The skill belongs to the stranger. So because the stranger's functions as a possessive adjective, we call it an adjective, not a noun. Whose skill? The stranger's skill. Without the apostrophe, the noun would be plural. That's obvious. If you had an S, without the apostrophe, it's plural. And there are not several strangers, plural. Okay, that's just showing you what it looks like with just the S without the apostrophe. So this is how you're going to do your homework this week in the grammar book. You're going to look for nouns that show ownership or possession, and they will end in S and answer the question, whose? And the way to fix it in this book is to place an apostrophe before the S to show that the noun is functioning as a possessive adjective. And then when you mark it, you're going to put ADJ for adjective above each adjective. And here's the example of how to fix it right here. The stranger dodged Robin's blow. So it could be, I don't know why I just had it, probably because we were just talking about that movie, The Matrix, this weekend. Have you guys seen The Matrix? Probably not. No. Anyway, it's one of those movies that's like a sci-fi movie, and everything that this guy Neo does is pretty impressive because it's outside of real life stuff. So like he dodges bullets basically, and kind of like Superman. I think Superman dodges bullets too, but he can move out of the way of a bullet, and that's not really, realistic in real life, but dodging it. Or so in this sentence, he dodged Robin's blow. A blow would be like a punch. So he basically got out of the way of a punch, right? So we've got some drama starting to happen in our story. But so basically Robin's is possessive because it has that apostrophe S and is talking about Robin's blow. Could be a punch, it could be an arrow. But anyway, you're going to mark it as an adjective and put an apostrophe there. Okay, and down here it says, think about it. Many words can be used as different parts of speech. However, a word can perform only one part of speech at a time. You guys already know that. So if it's a plural noun, like foresters, the foresters mocked Robin, that just has an S. There's no apostrophe, so that just means it's plural. And I just explained that. And then a possessive adjective obviously has the apostrophe. So the forester's mockery angered Robin. So the mockery belongs to the foresters. It's possessive. So that means it's a possessive adjective there in that sentence. And that's what they're saying in the next part. All righty. So possessive adjective, I think Oh, there's no more on the back. That's good. Let's go to our practice page, page 111. I'll go ahead and read it today. Let you girls off the hook here. And it could be more than one sentence. It's kind of long, so we'll see how this goes here. Oh, my light is, there we go. Quickly, Robin approached his adversary on the bridge. He dodged the stranger's staff and then returned a blow to the stranger's head. Obviously, like right away, we see a lot of mistakes in this. And that's what we're going to do. Start working on fixing those. The vocabulary word today is adversary, and that just means your opponent or someone who opposes you or attacks you. Use your adversary, somebody that's against you, basically. So go ahead and put a check by your vocabulary word. And we know the articles, and you can go ahead and mark those. Four of them. Okay, nouns, we have 6. So lots of nouns today. So Abby, help me with the nouns.
Okay. Robin,
Yes.
bridge,
Yes.
staff,
Yes.
head.
Head. Yes.
Would adversary be the other one?
Yes. Very good. Adversary is a noun.
Oh, wait, that's only 5.
So there's just one more. It is a little tricky.
I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. It's actually blow, and blow you would think is a verb, right? Normally it is if you're blowing out your candles or something like that. But since it has the article a before it, that means it's actually a noun, a blow to the stranger's head. So in that sense, that's a punch with a fist. That's a, well, actually, it's with a staff. So this, it's a blow to the head is basically hitting somebody in the head with something or with your fist. So a blow means it is a noun. And then let's see, Paisley, how about the pronoun? There's only one.
He.
Good, he. I'm glad you didn't pick his, because that's going to do something else in this sentence. So, and then since that was super short, I'm going to have Paisley do the next one too. How about the adjective? So there's 3, and usually you can look right before the noun to find those.
Strangers.
Yes,
Staff.
good.
And then the stranger's head.
Yes, that is. And by the way, we need to just stick a apostrophe in here. We might as well do that now, because that does make it an adjective, because the head belongs to the stranger. Stranger's head. Good. So that's 2. There's one more.
Quickly.
I'm going to give you a clue. It's not quickly, but if you look at this noun, if you look at adversary at this noun and you ask whose adversary is it?
Oh, his.
There you go, his. So in this sentence, his is an adjective, his adversary. Okay, good. So Abby, adverbs, now those modify the verbs. And you know what? Let's do the verbs first. Let's come back to the adverbs, okay? Let's skip down here to subject verb pairs. So tell me what verbs you see, Abby.
Approached.
Yes, approached.
Dodged.
Yep.
Returned.
Yes. Good. 3, I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Now let's find the subjects really quick while we're at it. So who approached?
Robin.
Robin, good. So that's a subject and a noun. And then in this next part here, dodged. Who dodged?
He.
Yeah, I almost gave it away. And that's it, because that's still part of the same sentence with returned. So he returned. Okay, good. Now, I'll go ahead and have you do, Abby, the adverbs. Now, what words modify the verb, which it means it explains like how something happened.
Quickly.
Good. Quickly is an adverb. So ADV.
Would it be than?
It would be, but do you notice that that's misspelled? Because
Oh, yeah.
it should be THEN, because we're not comparing something. We're talking about time here and then. So let's put THEN, and then you are correct. It is an adverb. And I think those are the only two. Yep. Awesome. Okay. Coordinating conjunctions. So those are going to be fanboys. You girls remember the acronym fanboys? I'm going to go ahead and write it in just to help us remember. Each letter stands for one of the conjunction words. So those are words that connect sentences. You remember that, Paisley, like that song we listened to? Do you see a coordinating conjunction? Paisley? I'll give you a big clue. We have a bunch of stuff labeled already, so I'll give you a clue. It's a word that's not labeled. So basically we have prepositional phrases and coordinating conjunctions left outside of those other two things. So look for a word that connects two parts of the sentence together.
Sorry, my computer's acting all weird. But
Oh.
and then?
Yes, and very good. So the A in fanboys would be and. Good. So the prepositional phrases, and I'm going to have Paisley do, can you hear me okay, Paisley? Okay. I'm going to have you do that part too. And this should be pretty easy because we have almost everything is marked. So look for a word that's not marked and see if it's a preposition. And then you can tell us what the phrase is.
To the stranger's head.
Good. To the stranger's head is one. What's the other one?
On the bridge.
Yep, on the bridge. Excellent, Paisley. All right. I remember when first we're learning prepositional phrases, it was hard, and you guys are like easy peasy cheesy now. All right, main clause is back to you, Abby. So these are the ones that have a subject verb pair. There's two of them. What do you think?
Quickly, Robin approached his adversary on the bridge.
And yes, however, the main clause starts right here at Robin. So Robin approached his adversary on the bridge. So quickly, since it's an adverb, doesn't begin the main clause because the main clause can stand without that. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then
Go ahead.
he dodged the stranger's staff and then returned a blow to the stranger's head.
Yep, the whole sentence there. Good job. That's correct. Good job. All right. And then we have two different openers. So we might as well put in our end marks. We have an end of a sentence here at bridge. So we might as well stick that period in there. And then the end of the sentence here. So we have two different openers. So I'm going to have Abby do the first opener. What kind of an opener is that first sentence there?
I want to say OI adverb.
It's correct. Yes. Do you remember what number that is?
Isn't it 3?
Yeah, good job. If you need to look back on that front part, you can, but you're right, it's 3. And then we're going to put ly adverb. And then Paisley, look at where it starts here at the next sentence. He dodged. So what kind of a sentence opener is this one?
1, a subject.
Yes, excellent. I'm gonna have to squeeze it in here because I'm running out of room. But you're right, 1, subject. Very good, because it starts with the subject. All right, capitals, we could do that easily. That's just the first word of the 2 sentences, and then we've got Robin. Comma, we are needing to take out a comma. So Abby, do you know where that comma is?
After staff.
After staff. Yep, that we can just take out. We already got the end marks. We already fixed the usage. That just means then and than. And we already fixed the spelling on that. And then we already did the apostrophe. So voila, we're done. We did it. So by the end, as you already know, everything should have some kind of a label on it now. So the harder things that you find in your list, because I know your list is long now, because we're getting past the halfway mark in our book. Go do the easy ones first. Do the ones you know first. And then that kind of narrows it down. Whatever's left, that'll help you identify the other parts of the speech. Do you have any questions about grammar today? No questions about grammar. Good. All right, let's move on. Done with that. Okay, for part of your homework this week, move this out of the way here. You guys worked on the Roman numeral 2 and 3. I think that was your homework, your keyword outline for Captain Cook. And I had you not write the paragraphs yet. I gave you a little break this last week because it was a lot to just try to get this down. So go ahead and get out your keyword outline. And I know you guys worked on Roman numeral 2 in class last week. And then as part of your homework, you did Roman numeral 3, just the outline, not the paragraph. So I have not had a chance to check it yet. But did both of you get a chance to get that done for both Roman numeral 2 and 3? Give me a thumbs up if you did. Okay, good. Yay. So just for right now, I want to just review, and we're just going to focus right here on Roman numeral 3 on yours. And I just want you to practice. Remember, we used to practice looking at the words and then looking up and telling a complete sentence, just looking at, in your head. So let me say that again. Look down at your 3 words, think of a complete sentence, and then look up and say the complete sentence. Remember when we used to practice that? Okay, so I'm going to have you just do that with a couple of them. So we'll start with Abby. If you could tell us, just looking at your 3 words for Roman numeral 3, that last one, Roman numeral 3, tell us a sentence for Roman numeral 3 and then the regular number 1. So you're just going to give us 2 separate sentences.
Okay. In 1776, James Cook wanted to find out if there was a Northwest Passage that would allow sea travel from the Atlantic Ocean to the Indian Ocean.
Okay, good. And that was your Roman numeral 3?
Yeah.
Okay, that was a lot, so it's probably hard to memorize to look up to say it.
Yeah.
That's fine. So on the regular number 1, that was a great sentence, by the way. Good job. And then look at your regular number 1 and do the same thing, but try to look it up at the computer when you say the sentence. See if you can do that.
Okay. Okay. He took the eastern route around Africa, sailed past New Zealand for the third time, and then traveled north.
Good, nice, good job. So you focused on his last voyage. Is that what you started it with?
Yes.
Did you transition then into his death at that
Yeah.
point? Okay, good. Awesome, very nice. Okay, Paisley, do you have yours in front of you? Your outline?
Yes. What do you mean by regular one?
Okay, good question. I mean, like, I'm going to show you my screen again here. Like down here, this is the Roman numeral 3, and then this would be regular number 1. Does that make sense? So basically, I want you to look at the 3 words here. I don't have any, but you do. And then tell us a sentence, and then move down to this regular number 1. And then look at your 3 words and tell us a sentence from that. Does that make more sense? Is that good, Paisley? Okay, your internet must be like in and out, huh? That makes it hard. Okay, so go ahead and do Roman numeral 3 first.
In 1779, at Hawaii, James Cook met his end.
Good. Okay. And then your regular number 1, do the same thing.
A native stole one of James Cook's small boats.
Okay, good. That's right. That was the next thing that happened. His boat was stolen. Very good. And then do you have plans to move into how he died from there? Yeah, sounds like you girls kind of have a similar last paragraph, which is good. And that is when you're talking about a famous person or any person, that's especially if they've already died, that's what you do at the end, is talk about what happened at the end. So, okay, good. Now for your homework this week, it's gonna be a little different today in class, but for your homework, you're gonna finish writing your report about James Cook or Captain Cook. So you already did paragraph 1 a while ago from your outline. So this week, your homework will be to use your Roman numeral 2 outline and your Roman numeral 3 outline to write your paragraphs like you've been practicing. So I wanted to mention to Abby that at the end of class last week after you left, Paisley had a really good question, and I wanted to bring it up here just so you know. She said, how many sentences should our paragraphs be? And really, each one of these is a sentence. So, well, let's look at Roman numeral 2. So this would be a sentence. And this would be, these all are sentences here. So really you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sentences total in your paragraph. The clincher is part of that last sentence. Now, if you need to say more, because I know that both of you like to add more information, like I think that's why you were asking, Paisley, because you had more to say. It is okay to write another sentence or 2, but you really should not go past like 9 sentences for a paragraph. That's a pretty long paragraph. So try to keep it 7 or 8 sentences is appropriate for a paragraph. But really, each one of these will be your sentence. Each set of words here is you will turn into a sentence and put that in your paragraph. So do you have any questions about that part? Changing it to a paragraph? No questions about that. Okay. Are you good, Paisley? Okay. So again, your homework will be write paragraph 2 and paragraph 3. And of course, as usual, you will use your checklist. So now you will finish checking off. And I know when you did the first paragraph a couple weeks ago, both of you turned in your checklist. So that's what I want. I want you to now continue checking all of your dress ups and making sure you have your topic clincher highlighted or bolded, it says here. Have that for each paragraph. You're going to change your title. So it's not going to be called Captain Cook. You're going to change that. And then remember, your last sentence of your whole report is going to have two jobs. It's going to have the clincher for that paragraph, and then it's going to have the title repeating or reflecting, 2 to 3 title words, or 1 to 3, I think is the rule, 1 to 3. Repeat. So it's going to have both of those at the last sentence. Okay, I know at one point I said you can add an extra sentence for that, but I want to see if I can challenge you to make that last sentence do both jobs of clincher and title. Okay, any questions about the homework part? Good, yay. Now, I'm going to move on to the next lesson, even though you're still working on Captain Cook as your homework. Okay, I'm going to introduce the next part of the binder here. So in your binder, let me get the binder out. We're moving on to Unit 5, and this is a fun one. I'm kind of excited about this. So go ahead and go to your source text here. I can't really fit it in my camera, but we're moving on past where Captain Cook was. So this is the overview page. I still want you to take it out so it's with everything, but this is page 89. So you're going to take out 89 all the way through. Take out this yellow page, 91. Take out 93, 95, and 97. So that should be 5 pages. You'll stop at Bora Bora or dog and table, which sounds weird, but that's later. Okay, so you took out 5 pages. It should be page 89, 89 all the way through 97, which is the checklist for a drone. And I'm going to have you keep Captain Cook at the beginning of your binder, because we are still working on that this week. When you come to class next week, we'll move that to finished compositions. But for now, you're going to have both of these sets of papers at the front. So kind of cool. Unit 5 is writing from pictures. So this is going to be a little different for you guys. You know how we used to do the story sequence chart? And who remembers the first paragraph in a story sequence chart? What do we focus on in the first paragraph? Who remembers that part? This is like when you're writing a story. See if I can jog your memory here. When that was a while back, when we wrote about the heart in the ox stall. Remember that? It was a story sequence chart. And we had your outline had a line down the middle of it. And then on the left, we had some boxes and we filled in different things. Do you remember? Kind of. How about this? Character and setting. You remember that? Oh, and I saw your hand, Paisley. You probably remembered. Character and setting was the very first box, right? And then we filled in who was in the story and where were they? And then the second box, who remembers what was in the second box after that? After we introduced the characters and setting, Paisley, what was it after that?
Conflict and problem.
Yes, good. Conflict and problem, right? Remember there was the cart that was hiding in the hay, and the problem was they didn't see it and they couldn't find it. Good. Okay, so then Abby, do you remember that last box? What did we focus on our third paragraph?
The resolution.
The resolution, exactly. There you go. And climax was another part of it. So character setting, problem, conflict, climax, resolution. That was the order of the story sequence chart. Now we're going to veer a little bit off of that. It's still going to be a 3-paragraph model. So still, we're only writing 3 paragraphs. But this time we're going to actually focus on pictures. And this one you get to be super creative, because obviously you're going to use your imagination with what's happening in the pictures. So I'm going to show you, we're going to take some class notes real quick. So go ahead and get out a clean piece of paper, and I'll have you take some notes. Go ahead and label your paper with your name and date. Okay. And we're going to call this Unit 5, Writing from Pictures. And instead of drawing a line down the middle of your paper, just go a little bit to the left like this. Not exactly centered, but a little bit to the left, about like that. And as usual, you already know the keyword outline format. It's going to look like this with a Roman numeral 1, and we're just going to do 4. Whoops, except for I need a 3 in there. There we go, 3, 4, and we're still going to remember to do a clincher. That's something we've added now to our outline. So go ahead and do that for all Roman numerals 1 to 3. Okay, and this time we're going to be looking at pictures. So on the left side here, I just want you to draw a box like this, and then you're going to draw a little arrow. So we're going to pretend that's like a picture, and you're going to do that for each one of these. Draw a box, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a visual for you to kind of see the format on how we're setting up this outline. So each box represents a picture. So you're only going to have 3 pictures to look at. The first picture is going to be what you include in Roman numeral 1. The second picture is what you're going to include in Roman numeral 2. And the third picture is what you're including in Roman numeral 3. Now, when you look at a picture, which we will in just a minute here, there's going to be some obvious things in the actual picture. It could be an animal, a person, a thing. There's something you're going to see in the picture, and that is considered the central fact. So this still, the Roman numeral is still the topic. So go ahead and put topic here. And then I want you to put equal, and then central fact. And the central fact is, like I said, when you look at a picture, it's literally what you see in the picture. Okay. And let's put that for each of the Roman numerals here. So topic equals central fact. Same here. So what you're going to end up describing is an event, okay? Because there's going to be a little pretty much sequence of what's happening in each picture, but the whole thing would be called an event. So you're going to look at each picture, tell the central fact in that picture, but then we need to come up with other ideas that are outside of the picture that are going to come from your head. And that's where you're going to make up. You're going to get creative. And maybe that sounds super easy to you, and maybe that sounds super hard to you, because I will tell you, for me, it's hard. I am not very creative. I don't know how to make up wild and crazy and funny stories out of my head. I struggle with that. I do better with academic writing, where I'm looking at Captain Cook and I see the information, I transfer it to a piece of paper. But this is going to be different. This is creative. So you both will come up with your own version of the story, and it's probably going to be really different, okay? When you're looking at these pictures, now I got to ask you this. Let me see, how am I going to word this? Let me think about this for a second. I know you both can probably relate to this. If you want to make cookies, let's give an example here. If you want to go, let's say after class, you're like, man, I really want some chocolate chip cookies, which sound amazing. What do you need to make chocolate chip cookies? What do you need to do that? Go ahead and unmute and say.
Chocolate chips.
You need chocolate chips. What else do you need, Paisley?
Flour, eggs.
All the ingredients, right? You also need a bowl to mix it in. You need something to mix it with. You need tools. So basically, you can't just think of chocolate chip cookies and boom, there they are in front of you. There's a process, right? There's things that you need in order to make it. Or if you're building a doghouse or something, which is super fun to do, but you need wood, you need tools, you need a plan, all of that. Okay. So when you're creating something in writing, you need to already have information in your head. So how do you access that information? It's a tricky question. There's a trick to it because it's there, but how do you find it? So I don't know about you, but whenever my teacher, when I was a kid, and my teacher would say, okay, here's your sentence starter. You're going to say, it was a stormy night. And then you finish the rest of the story. And so I'd be like, it was a stormy night. And then it was like, I don't know what to put. I don't know. What do I put next? And you're just kind of like writer's block, right? Nothing. You have nothing. There's nothing in there to write about. Well, here's how you access it. You access it by asking yourself questions. Okay. Asking yourself questions is the key to finding your thoughts. This is something that you already do normally, naturally, but I'm putting a label to it. You ask yourself questions. That's how you get your thoughts going. So I'm going to have you turn your page over on the back side of that page of your notes. And what are this is the back of your page, so we don't have to label this one. Big 6 question words. What are those big 6 question words? Basically, they're the words we use at the beginning of a sentence for a question. There's 6 of them. Abby?
Do you mean things like who and why?
Yes, I do. So there's 6 of them. Who, what, when, where, why, how. That's how you would rattle them off really quick. So who, what, when, where, why, how. Those are the 6. They're called the big 6 question words. Those are the 6 words that we use in English to ask a question. Okay, who, what, when, where, why, how. Now, when we ask ourselves those questions, that pulls up our thoughts. That brings to the front information that we already have in our head. So it was a stormy night, and I can say, I can ask myself, what was happening? Well, there was a storm. So maybe there was lightning and thunder, and it was loud. And then who was with me? I was, let's say, camping, since we were talking about camping. I was camping with my family, and there was lightning and thunder, and then we heard howling in the distance, and then you can, what did we hear? We heard howling. When was it? It was right before dinner time. And so if I start thinking about these questions, that will trigger thoughts, see? And then those thoughts, you can start imagining in your head what is happening and who's there and how and why, and all those questions. That brings thoughts to your head. That's how you think, okay? There are some extra questions, and over here, I'm just going to put extra questions. And these are also questions you can have ready to ask yourself about these pictures. Like, and I'm just going to put before question mark, excuse me, after, outside, maybe something that's outside of the picture or invisible. Now, I know those are not question words that you use at the beginning of a question, but these are extra questions when you're looking at a picture. You can ask yourself to get creative. Okay, so maybe what's happening before what is in the picture, what's happening after. Obviously, for the before one, that would be in the first picture. So I'm just going to put in parentheses here, first. I'm just going to put pick, first pick, last pick. That just means, like, usually you talk about what's happening before when you're looking at the first picture, and then what happens after. You can let your think about possible things that could happen after the picture. Outside just means, like, maybe if the picture shows somebody in a room, what do you think is happening outside of that room or outside of the frame of the picture? That would be maybe even something that's invisible that you can't see in the picture. Okay. Those are the questions that I want you to think of as you're looking at pictures. So let's look at some pictures. Do we have time? I hope so. Yes, we do. Go ahead and look at page 93. 93 is really what your first assignment is going to look like for writing from these pictures. And it's kind of nice that they already have the outline ready to go for you. So you can actually write on this page on this outline. Okay, and we're just going to talk about the first picture together, and then we're going to jot down some keywords. Obviously, the keywords for this assignment are coming from your head. They're not coming from sentences. They're actually going to just come from your head. And we're going to do the first one together, but here's how I want to do this, because you girls might already have different ideas. Like, this is free flowing. So you can change it up a little bit as we do this, as you think of ideas. So for instance, let's just look at this first picture. And remember, for the Roman numeral 1, it's the central fact. And that part is actually what is in the picture. That the central fact is what you see in the picture. So let me get to my page here. Obviously, we see a boy, right? We can guess he's a boy. And he's opening a box. And we don't know if that is something that he got from Amazon or if it's actually a present. If we don't know if it's his birthday, we don't know if it's Christmas, or maybe he got a good grade on a test and his parents wanted to reward him with a gift. We don't really know, but that's where we're going to start asking ourselves our own questions of what we think is going on. And this is where you can make it up. So here's a boy. Let's think of a name for this boy, because remember, this is creative. Okay, this is like you get to make this up. So we could call him Billy, we could call him Joe, we could call him Chris. I don't know. Think of a boy's name that you know, and I'm gonna pick Billy, but you guys can pick whatever boy name you want to pick. And remember, the central fact is literally what's happening in the picture here. So I am going to put the word opened, because that's literally what he's doing. He's taking the lid off of something. And I'm gonna guess it's a present. You could put package, you could put gift, whatever other word you want to put here. I'm going to choose present. Okay. So the central fact is literally what's happening in the picture. Now, this is where we're going to start asking ourselves the big 6 questions that we wrote down on the back of your note page there. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. All right, so why would he be opening a present? Why do you think, Paisley, why would he be opening a present?
Birthday.
Birthday, could be birthday. Why else do you think, Abby? What's another reason he could be opening a present?
Maybe his parents wanted to reward him for something, like you said.
Yeah, a reward. Okay, so for mine, I'm going to put birthday, but you girls can put whatever is in your mind about why he has this. Why is he opening this? I'm going to say it's his birthday, but like I said, if you want to put reward, that would be a good one, or package, or I mean, not package, but maybe Christmas. Maybe it's Christmas, or maybe it's a just because gift. Have you ever gotten a just because gift? Those are actually sometimes the best, right? Because you don't even know it's coming and it's like, what? You're giving me this? What? That's cool. So it could be that. Looking at his face, let's ask a how question. How do you think he feels about what he sees in the box? Either one of you can say, how do you think he feels?
Really happy.
Really happy. Good. Do you have a different word other than happy, Paisley? No? What about like maybe excited? He looks excited. His eyebrows are up. His mouth is open and smiling. It's like, right? I don't know if you ever, that's so cool when you get a gift that you really want. I actually got, and it was kind of funny because it didn't come in time for my birthday. My birthday was in November. And so it came later, which is also kind of fun because your birthday just keeps going. But anyway, my husband bought me some of those AirBuds or AirPod. No, what are they called? Earpods. I think that's what they're called, right? Those cordless ones. They're Apple, because I have an Apple phone and you just stick them in your ear. But I was so, and what are they called?
Aren't they called AirPods?
AirPods. Let me show you. Yes. I'm such a dork when it comes to technology. I can tell you all day about cows and goats and chickens, but when it comes to technology, yeah, look, it's in the little case and everything. You guys probably have some. They're so cool because, I mean, you could go anywhere with them anyway, and they sound cool. Like when you're listening to music and stuff, you girls probably already know that, but I opened the box and I was like, what? You got me AirPods? These are awesome. So I feel like that kid in that picture. So I'm going to put excited. But if you have a different word, that is okay. I'm just going to put excited here. And then I'm going to put a question here because we don't really know if we're just focusing. Don't even look at these pictures yet. If you're just focusing on this picture, we don't know what it is yet. I'm going to put a question here. I'm going to put what with a question because we don't know what it is. Maybe he's opening it. He's like, what is it? Maybe he's asking, what is it? Maybe it's got tissue paper in it, or it's got, you know, extra packaging in there and he can't really see what it is yet. Okay, check the time really quick. Oh, we're good. Going on to the next picture. Or not next picture, sorry. The next outline. We're still on this first picture. There might be some ideas of what he thinks it is. Maybe he's thinking, he's still unwrapping stuff. He's still taking out tissue paper. Is it a new video game? Is it a new action figure that he's wanted? Is it maybe, I don't know, we can peek ahead. Maybe we can peek ahead. Maybe it's something that flies because I'm looking at his little remote control here. Maybe it's like a drone or a model airplane or a little helicopter, something that flies. So I'm just going to make a little list of things that it could possibly be. And I'm just going to put like video, game, question mark. And then I'm going to put drone, question mark. You can get creative. If you want to copy mine on that, that's fine. If you think of something else you want to pretend that maybe it is, you can put whatever your thoughts are on that. And then we can look ahead and know, like I said, he's flying something, right? You can see, we're just going to peek ahead here, even though we're working on this first picture. You can see his family, he's looking out the window at him, he's outside. You can see a tree and little bits of grass. So maybe he got the latest drone, which would be like fancy schmancy. Like I said, I don't even know what they're called or what they do really. I know they have a camera on them, but let's call it something like a I don't know, I'm going to make this up. Okay. Maybe it's called a Unit 5000 Super HD spy cam. I've got I've got 4 words there. It's okay. Every once in a while, if we need 4, we can squeeze in 4. But you can call it whatever you want. Maybe there's actually a real drone name that you know of that you could put there or whatever. Or if you didn't pick drone and you picked airplane, or it could be like a blimp. Do you know what a blimp is? Have you ever seen those before? Those big, it's almost like a big balloon. Have you ever seen, like, I saw this on YouTube where there's like a helium, it's like a fish. And you blow it up, but then you have a little remote where you can actually float this fish like around the house and stuff. I've seen it. It's kind of cool. So whatever you're wanting it to be, you're going to get creative with this. So I just called it Unit 5000 Super HD Spy Cam. There you go. Sounds cool. All right. Now we're going to go on to number 4. And maybe that's what he wanted, but he wasn't sure he was going to get something like that because maybe it was expensive. And he thought, man, my parents aren't going to want to spend $400 on a drone. So he's thinking it's too much money. But that's what he's hoping for. I meant to tell you that. He's hoping maybe it's that. He's still unwrapping it, so we don't really know what it is. But he's thinking, could it be? And then when he's opening it and he's excited, he says, wow. And then can't believe it. That's what he's saying. So if you ask yourself, what is he saying? Now, I know this is a little confusing, but you get to ask, as long as you're asking your big 6 questions, you get to come up with your answers. This is just my model here. If you want to copy mine for now, totally copy it. That's fine. We're learning how to make this happen together on this outline. All right, so I'm going to pause there because we are actually getting low on time. I do want to point out, though, next week, I'm going to save this for next week. There's a new dress up on your new checklist. And it's a quality adjective. So an adjective, remember, tells more about the noun. It modifies a noun. So keep that in mind. We'll talk more about that next week. And we're also going to add some band words. And this doesn't apply to Captain Cook, so don't worry about that. But your new band words are going to be good and bad. We're going to come up with some better words than good and bad. So we're going to stop here on this and continue this next week, but your homework does not have anything to do with this yet. Okay, your homework is to finish writing your report about Captain Cook from your outline. And then, of course, your grammar. Okay, any questions about what you have for homework this week? No? Oh, Paisley?
Not for this week, but for this thing that we were just working on. For the outline thing, for what we're writing down.
Yeah.
Does there only have to be 3 words, just like? Okay.
Yeah, it's the same rules. I know on that one, I added an extra little word, I think the spy cam one, but yeah, you still follow the same outline rules, and numbers and symbols and abbreviations are still free. But yeah, but you don't have to work on this during your homework this week. You can just leave it just like that. And then we'll bring it back next week for class. And then we'll talk about it some more and add more to it. That's a good question though. Okie dokie. If you don't have any other questions, that's it for today. Happy Valentine's Day. And I will see you next week. Bye. Have a good one.